Alright, so I'm back to do the family medicine shelf. This one is highly requested because I just finished family medicine and I'm on to pediatrics, so I thought I would do a quick video on how I study for this shelf. So this one's going to be a little bit different because I literally only use this. There's no other resources other than a couple UWorld questions and maybe some MBMEs, but honestly this is the only thing that I used is case files for family medicine. I really only use case files I think for OB-GYN and I think that's it. So I wasn't really a huge fan of them, but for FamMed it was amazing. So my family medicine elective, or core rotation rather, was really busy. I was at a wellness center and we would go from 8 in the morning until sometimes 8 at night. And then other times we'd go from 8 in the morning till like 5:36, then by the time that was traffic in Atlanta, and then by the time I would get home. So there were literally like 12 to 13 hour days and I felt like I could not study at all. For Atlanta Medical Center, we also had an inpatient week, which was very busy as well because that's when you're in the hospital. So I had 5 weeks of outpatient and then 1 week in the hospital doing inpatient service. So my time to study was very limited because I barely had any weekends, and the 1 weekend that I did have, I was on the inpatient service. So it was a very busy rotation. So I tried my hardest to get through all 60 cases. So what I did was I would read through a case. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but let's just take case 19, so in case files. And what I would do is I would create a 4x4 grid on a sheet of paper, and then I would actually write kind of like Cole's notes of what I would need to do in that case. So let's just go to case 19, which is acute bronchitis. So as you can tell, I would do a kind of a 4x4 grid on the back. Or I guess that's 4x2, not 4x4 grid. But it would be 4 on the front, 4 on the back, and it'd be each 8 cases. So here's number 19. You can tell in my crazy coding colors again that I would just kind of create like a little box of what I need to know for that case. Instead of reading this twice through, knew that I definitely didn't have time. So what I would do is just kind of create like almost like a little cheat sheet for every single case. So in that last week, what I tried to do is just instead of reading this guy again, which is pretty thick and pretty long, I would just kind of have about 8 sheets of paper. And it does look kind of crazy, and try and read these instead of the book. There were times where I wanted to give up. There were times where I was on case like 25 and knew I had to case 60, but I like pushed through and really, and this is also great for residency because family medicine covers absolutely every single thing that you can think of. So having these little kind of boxes with all the high yield stuff, I know will come in handy. So I'm keeping this forever because it took me way too long to do it. But I'm really happy that I stuck to it because I actually ended up getting an A on the shelf. I got a 70, so an A for us is a 70 and above, so I just got an A. I'm really happy because family medicine is what I want to do, so being able to kind of crush that, I shouldn't say crush is like 85, but being able to get an A on the shelf and kind of proving to program directors and residency applications that I want to do it and I'm very serious about it. So I know that this is time consuming. Do I kind of say to everyone that you should do this? No, but I'm just letting you know this is what I did. Did I have time to go through absolutely every single case again? No, but this gave me the ability to kind of cipher through what I needed to work on. And acute bronchitis, asthma, Ottawa ankle rules, like all that stuff is super high yield for the shelf. I think I had like 7 questions on Ottawa ankle rules, so make sure you guys review that. And it kind of gave me just a place to be able to kind of just sift through during clinic to be able to like, you know, get a couple cases in. So this is what I did. I also, the MBME added 2 family medicine MBMEs. So that was new. I know a lot of my old class that had family medicine first last year, they didn't have MBMEs available. So I did both of those FamMed MBMEs and there actually was repeated questions. I had a couple of pictures that were exactly the same pictures with exactly the same vignette that was on the shelf. So making sure that you guys do those MBMEs because they are very high yield. And then if you had a couple like leftover internal medicine questions, I finished all 1400 for internal medicine. If you're starting with family and kind of need like some more questions other than just a book, I would highly suggest doing the internal medicine questions, or trying to get a good chunk of them down in the 6 weeks. I think 1400 questions in 6 weeks is tough, depending on kind of your hours of your clinic that you're in or inpatient service. So this is kind of like a really fast talking breeze through of what I did, but again, I always say get a resource. This is my resource. I only did case files, family medicine. What I would do is I would make kind of a grid on a piece of paper, front and back of each case, little Cole's note of each one, instead of reading the whole book again. I did the 2 family medicine MBMEs. There's no Emma Holiday and there's no online med ed, which kind of sucks for my videos. So I really just had to rely on this book to get me through, and it ended up doing well. So this is what worked for me. Not saying that this is going to work for you, but I always like to kind of answer all the questions that I'm getting for family medicine, because I know it's kind of one of the harder shelves, and mind you, it was hard. And so this is just kind of my take on what I did. So hope this helps, guys. And again, any questions at all, just email me or message me on Instagram. Bye.